That's good. That's perfect. That's awesome. Just leave it there for now.
Since we bought our summer home on Baseline Lake near Ann Arbor, Michigan, I had an urge to buy an old sailboat and restore it with our grandsons Ryusei and Gavin.
I'd go out on the ocean.
Well, it just so happened that our neighbors had a 1970 Fireball sitting in their garage, and on October 28, 2023, we wheeled it over to our garage on a makeshift trolley. A few days later, Gavin and I devised a suspension contraption to store the mast off the floor. This was the last we would do until next year.
Just be me and Trevor. We'll go riding through them movies.
On July 14, we dropped Ryusei and Gavin off at Interlaken for their 3-week film and animation camp. While the boys were at camp, I decided to assess the repair needs to the boat. There turned out to be a lot more to do than what I first thought, with lots of nicks, chips, hairline cracks, really bad fiberglass, and this completely broken out spinnaker port.
Now the mystery masked man was smart.
Over the next few days, I removed all the fittings, lines, cables, and straps from the boat, taking care to record each piece with a video or a photo. I hope I remember where it all goes. I also made a template to prepare for the fiberglass repair of the broken spinnaker port. The boys are back from film and animation camp, and today we will be doing fiberglass repair and sanding the whole boat for the first coat of primer or barrier coat. I was impressed that the boys figured out how to prepare the support for the 4 layers of fiberglass and resin to repair the broken spinnaker hatch, and then determined which sandpaper to use for the different sanding
applications. This one is
applications.
for the main one, and then that one's for the fine detail.
For the finishing, exactly.
If I were like lightning.
Cutting and sanding the cockpit deck, we realized that the damage was quite substantial, but soon Ryusei and Gavin had it ready for the next step. Having fixed the support piece for the fiberglass firmly in place, over the next few hours we will apply 4 layers of fiberglass mesh and resin, and then several layers of JD Weld body filler to the broken cockpit deck fiberglass.
Go out on the ocean.
Mixing the 2-part fairing compound thoroughly, we applied 4 coats over the next 3 days and also filled the multiple nicks and imperfections across the rest of the boat. After Ryusei's precision sanding, the repair is ready for the primer barrier coat. Today, Ryusei had to catch up on his summer homework for school, so Gavin and I spent a couple of hours on the first sanding, removing as much of the oxidized top coat, being careful not to sand all the way through to the original fiberglass. This layer has been exposed to weather and UV radiation for the best part of 50 years, so it is important to get a good base for the first couple of primer barrier coats. With the first of many sandings done, we washed off the dust, ready for painting. But all work is not always fun, so the next 5 days we did no work on the boat, but sure had a lot of fun.
Song.
Percussion.
Always have a place you when you want it. That's a promise you can count on. No matter how you go, no matter the turn you tell me all about it. Come on. There's always have a place you
That's nasty.
To date, we have not disclosed to the kids what the sausage casings are made of.
no matter how you go.
Tonight we are having homemade boerewors, sauteed vegetables, and a bottle of Creation Pinot Noir recently brought to us from South Africa by our friends Steve and Marcy Feinberg.
Percussion.
Oh, what a fun summer we had. We were sad to see Ryusei leave, but please know, Ryusei, that this is also your home, so come home anytime. August 18, and we're finally getting back to working on the boat. Today Lolly joined us to help, but first we needed to tape all the parts we could not remove. Not having a compressor, we used the leaf blower to blow any remaining dust off and then wiped the boat with water-soaked rags. And finally, wiping it down with acetone to remove all the remaining residue. And then the painting started in earnest. We mixed the two-part primer or barrier coat paint and went to work. Over the next 3 weeks, we would sand and reapply another coat of primer 3 more times. A wise man once told me, the final coat will only be as good as all the sanding and repainting of each coat that came before it. By September 10, we were ready for the final primer coat. The third coat re-sanded, the paint and accelerant mixed, dust and residue wiped clean with acetone, and the last barrier coat covered most of the imperfections almost perfectly. Now just one more sanding before the first top coat. The day finally arrived for the painting of the first of the 4 top coats. This is a 1-part paint and all we had to do was thin it with 10% of the Total Boat Special Brushing Thinner 100. To me it looked and smelled just like normal paint thinner, but with a fancy name like that, they could charge $45 for a quart of the stuff. A gallon at Lowe's is $22.
Wow.
Satisfied with our test on the transom of the boat, we applied the first coat, starting on the inside.
What do you think so far?
Good.
You like it? Mm-hmm. It's gonna be beautiful, don't you? Okay.
And just like that, in about 2 hours, the first coat is done. We cleaned up and still had time for some boating before dinner. Today is my 75th birthday, Friday, September 20, 2024. The first top coat is cured well over the past 4 days, and so I will be sanding it today. Tomorrow, Saturday, Gavin and I will apply the second top coat. It seems counterintuitive, again, to sand down the nice glossy first coat, but, as I said before, the final finish is only as good as all the painting and sanding of each preceding coat. By now, we have gotten the process down to a fine science. Careful mixing, using the new mohair rollers rather than the foam, and we finished the second coat in about 2 hours. Just came back from our morning walk, and today it's going to be the last sanding and hopefully the final of 3 top coats. The boat looks so beautiful. I hate that I'm gonna have to sand it, but there's still some places where the back paint shines through a little bit. So today a very light sanding with 320. Gavin is in school, of course, so I'm working alone today. The sanding now has become critically precise since the final preparation for the third top coat is crucial. After the 320 grit machine sanding, a lot of elbow grease as I try to get the surface as smooth as possible. Working without Gavin and using my new improved rolling technique, this coat took a lot longer, but it sure looked good.
There's still places where you can see a little bit of it shining through. Oh. Gavin, today we took all the tape off. So found a few spots, Gavin, that I was wrong, so I still got to paint a few, see that? And I've got a really small brush for all the small little places that might need a little bit of touch up, just like that there. See that there? It's gonna need some touch up. But I got a disappointment here. Come look here. Can you see those little curly cues?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to resand this and paint it again. It's only the rest is not, there aren't many of them, but I think I was going too fast with the sander, and then it makes these little curlicues. So I'm gonna just redo the front, and that'll give me an opportunity to fix this blemish here. We made those templates before. Now we're gonna take them and put them on top of this rubber flooring and cut it out. Okay, there's Gavin, first cut. Gavin?
Yeah?
Nice work today. It's getting there. Now we can put all the pieces back, but I'll work on that this week a little bit. Well, all those little curlicues I talked about before, just sanded them out with 320. And now I'm going to polish this whole front with maybe 400.
I hate to confess, but I was not happy with the fourth top coat either. So I did the whole process one more time, and this time it came out fantastic. The only thing remaining for this year is to install the decals. Getting the boat in the water will have to wait for next summer.
It's good. Good work for once. He's determined. Right. Let's see.
Gavin, what do you think?
It's good.
Good?
Just finished a little bit of this.
Are you so excited?
This is like a good note on the cello, Gavin.
Gavin, say, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
The leaves are coming down. Fall is here and Katie and I are leaving tomorrow, October 7, for New York and other travels. This project is not finished yet. We need to review the mast and the boom, the rigging, the rudder and centerboard, and of course the sails. But for me it was a labor of love and a privilege to work with Ryusei, albeit too little time, and with Gavin and Lolly. I hope some of my love of sailing rubs off next year when we get the fireball in the water.